Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. This is Zish, Visionary Life Hacks, here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. It's 1616. Look at that, it's 16. I love all these matching numbers. It must mean that the angels are with you. Anyway, so I'm gonna do a live today. Today I got shared a really good bit of information on Dollar Vigilante with Dr. Anna Mihalcea. Now, it's really quite interesting. And what they're claiming is that she is the avant-garde whistleblower of Nanotech. And in some circles, she probably is. And, you know, she probably has worked with Clifford Carnicum. But we could also say Brian 396, Tony Pantalleresco, and Ilana Freeland, who wrote 3 books on this over the last however many years, have been certainly over the enemy target, declaring how viruses could potentially be something like that of a synthetic biology. Now, is this true? Right? Do we actually know? And then, so what happens when you got these people showing up in their white coats with their microscopes? And the thing with the hi George, the thing with the microscopes. Hey George, you're going to like this one. You're going to love this one, George. So this is all about Anna, right? So we were rebuting Anna, but anyway, let me just get into it, right? So when you get into nano actually came from microscopes. So a lot of people think nano is new. It's not new. Then there's also the argument of the nanoscale with the nano engineering. Now, Dollar Vigilante, I said this, I'll say it again, I've said it before. Dollar Vigilante is good with his anarcho-capitalism, right? He's good with his geopolitical literacy, poking the bear with him and his Max Eigen. Max is more of a regurgitator. Like, he's just regurgitating what is current. So the whole Max thing, I just outgrew Max. I was like, man, this is on such a black pill vibration. And a lot of the people that are talking about the nanotech, your Sabrina Wallaces, your Tony Pantallerescos, they are pure black pill. Brian 396 is MK Ultra black pill. Ilana Freeland is a little bit different. These neo-anthroposophists, these Rudolf Steiner naturopathic types, they're a little bit different. They're not so black pill. They're a little bit more solution-based. And I'm kind of on that, you know, I'm aware of the geoengineering. But like what Anna is talking about has been being talked about by Dr. Begich since he wrote the book Angels Don't Play This Harp. Dr. Patrick Flanagan has been talking about this stuff since they knew about the advent of the harp. So Anna's a little bit late to the party. And also, when they show up in their little white coats, think the New Model Army. It's still a white coat, right? It's like a castle's still a castle. A white coat is still a white coat. Don't be fazed by the white coat. She might have you guzzling EDTA and methylene blue. And also, on a serious note, my mate Zach Power on the Pulse, one of Tony's students from Australia, was calling out Dr. Anna because she was actually saying how you couldn't use technology, and she wasn't wrong, because we've been saying this. We've been saying don't use your spooky device, don't use your tens units, don't use your Healy machines, don't use the digitals, don't use the BCX, definitely don't use the EE system. And the TZLA, even though it may be working, it's not worth the 11,100, which is, it's not even worth that. You could make one if you had the inkling to make one for $500. You could make one. You could genuinely make one. So it's not worth the 1111. And the 1111 isn't, you're not even buying the machine. You're buying into their anarcho-capitalist cult. Let's call it what it is. It's a cult. You're 1111. And Anna Mihalcea is now putting herself behind this, when we were going, well, what you're talking about technology, but are you not talking about the analog acoustic technology? You're not talking about the analog acoustic switch. We've been talking about this stuff for a very long time. We've been saying the importance of anti-nano triangles, learning how to build an anti-nano bucket. We're about to do something now with an engineer in Switzerland where we're going to be bringing high-end anti-nano triangles. With the TZLA machine, which is not even anything to do with Tesla, it's actually an Udin machine. I'm personally more invested in the original antique technology based on the original Tesla patent, which is from a time, because a lot of the modern stuff today, the gases, they're putting funny gases in the tubes. When the original, I'm saying the same thing over and over again, the original, but I have to say it over and over and over again because people are asking me the same questions over and over and over again. People are then even bringing me this information when I've been doing videos, and I start thinking to myself, can people even hear and understand the words that I am saying? And I actually don't think they can. I actually don't think a lot of people can hear what I'm saying. Like I don't even, like, I've done videos, like whole videos, where I've been sat there showing people how to make an anti-nano triangle. And even, maybe I talk about this behind the scenes, but even saying how the antique Tesla technology is potentially interesting when you're potentially looking at these ideas behind spike proteins and sheddings and synthetic biology and the weaponization of the fake ether. Because when you're working with the true ether technology, which, by the way, is quack medical devices, and they are antiquitech, but when you start to look with eyes that can see into the original literature, you might be pleasantly surprised. Now, with Anna Mihalcea's protocols, I think she's a good human being. She's certainly saying a lot of the things that we want to hear. But bear in mind that we are in a post-truth world, and she is wearing a white coat. Dr. Robert O. Young wears a white coat. They think it brings them an element of authority when they wear a white coat. And it probably does. It probably genuinely does. And so when I'm looking and listening at what they're saying, I've been telling you folks for a very long time that it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. Chlorides, acids, don't go alkaline. Fulvic mineral, no. Humic mineral, no. Shilajit, no. Methylene blue, no. Ivermectin, no. Fenbendazole, no. Whatever it's called. No. This diatomaceous earth, no. Silica, no. Like titanium, no. Excipients, binders, fillers, clearly no. GMOs, no. And you start looking at the nano like you would look at a lead or a mercury. So when she's saying about the EDTA, I'm like, why would I want to do a DT? Well, there was a really good band in the 80s called New Model Army, and they did a song called Why the people in the white coats, enough is enough. How do you trust the people? It's similar like that. It's like they did another song called 51st States of America. It's the song's called White Coats by New Model Army, and it's still a white coat, right? So I'll always be quite firm on the fact that I'm not really, like, wearing a white coat doesn't make me think, ooh, what an authority you are, because again, the science is very compartmentalized. It's not really coming from a place of ether-based physics. Check out the film Primordial by Margin Poles. It's wonderful. There was Lakhovsky, there was Rife, there was Reich, there was Schauberger, there was Tesla, there was H.G. Fisher, there was Udin, there was what's his other name? Faraday. You know, Faraday is a little bit like that, I think. You know, force matter. There was a little bit of a battle going on. You know, and then you got this battle going on between the two, and I kind of veer towards the spiritual science, and you start to look into it. It's very, very fascinating, and it looks to me like there's a bit of a battle going on. There is a lot of battle going on, and there's a battle for information, there's a battle for data, and we are in an information age where, you know, where the algorithm is dictating who you should listen to. So all in all, I think if you listen to it, if you listen to this link, take it with a pinch of salt, know that there's solutions, but know that they're selling you the TZLA machine. That's their ultimate goal. Like my ultimate goal is to sell you an original antique Tesla machine. But I tell you that, don't I? But it's better. It's loads better. I've even approached Dollar Vigilante to say, hey folks, I can help you make this better. And they're just trying to sell me this thing all the time. And I'm there going, let me help you make this better. And they're not paying attention because they've just got me into this funnel. They've got me into a sales funnel of all this rubbish, which I'm not. I'm actually wanting to help them make it better. Anna Mihalcea, I think she's a little bit early. I think she's a little bit late. I think she's a little bit naive. You know, because Clifford Carnicum was very much still in Morgellons. We've kind of evolved from the Morgellons. Now they're kind of catching on. You know, and yes, she's written a book. But Ilana's written 3 books about it, so really she's late to the party. She's late to the party. She's not, so you've got to look at the words. Like, this is the ultimate whistleblower on nanotech. No, she's not the ultimate whistleblower on nanotech. That in itself is not true. What they're saying is, we've chosen that Anna Mihalcea will be our spokeswoman for nano. You know, why are they selling the machine for $11,000 when it only costs $500? Another question, right? Well, it's a good question to ask him. You know, it's like but you look at the original antiques. Well, they are actually antiques. So in its first instance, they're actually original Tesla antiques from 1919 and onwards until I think it was like World War One. Like the French military were using them. You get the electrons from them. You get the photons from them. It's analog, so there's no digital interface. You don't have to reduce yourself to a diagnosis, which is a fantastic thing. Like why would we ever think we were a diagnosis? It's good to have a diagnosis, but it's kind of great to just think that I'm engineered with greatness within me, and I have all the tools I need within me. I could learn Qigong, and I do see the machines as an element of Qi machine. I do see that. I do see the fact that it's based on truth. So when you're in a post-truth world, it's very important to discern and to do your own research. And then if you want to go deeper into this, you can look into the works of Sabrina Wallace, you can look into the works of Tony Pantalleresco. If you want an anti-nano triangle, we can build you one. I've literally got one here. Look, I've got an anti-nano triangle just here. I've got one there. I've got one there. I can't be bothered to take it out. I've got a triangle literally there. I've got reels of it here to make triangles. Anybody can make an anti-nano triangle. That's going to cost you about $300. If you bought one from me, it's about $300. Yeah, so you could actually buy a set off me and an anti-nano triangle and a bath salt for half the price. Yeah, for half the price, you could get an anti-nano triangle that I can build you. Let me get it out. Where's my anti-nano triangle? There we go. That's an anti-nano triangle. Anti-nano triangle. I build these for about $400. These are about $400. And I've got a more sophisticated looking one incoming soon, made in Switzerland, and they're coming soon. They're going to be more money, but they're going to be better. This is a bit more sort of DIY. Anybody could build this. But anybody could build a TZLA if they had the time and the focus to actually build one. They could do that. Anyway, I watched half of it. I'm going to go back and watch the other half of it. This is going to go up onto YouTube, so people are going to see it. This is just my opinion. This is just my truth. Anna Mihalcea, interesting human being, but we were rebuking what she was saying months and months and months ago. So we've been exposing her falsehoods, and now she's promoting a technology. Why? Has she become a pay piggy? Has she become a pay piggy? Has she? That's the question, right? Is she getting Is she getting that? We need to know, right? Some interesting stuff, but honest to God, if you go on my wall today, if you look on my Facebook, Rooted Convergence, look at my links on the YouTube, you can find me in Facebook, you will see that I've been covering this since the Boogeyman. I've been putting all the data points from the Sabrina Wallace to the Tony Pantalleresco. It's all here. Go into my videos. It's all there. How to build an anti-nano triangle. How to do the bathing salts. We were doing the bathing salts 2014. We've been doing this. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about HARP since 1994. This is not new. We're not new. And then Alana Freeland, after breaking out of the Morgellons, even though she still talks a lot, even that, what's his name? Excuse me, even Cultivate, Elevate. A lot of them are still wrapped up in Morgellons, and that's because they're selling you Shilajit. And I'm not convinced with Shilajit anymore because it's a fulvic humic mineral. And the question then with the Shilajit is like, who put it there? I'm researching silica right now, but I'm convinced that silica is not good for us. And so the question then is, okay, is what they're saying true? Are we being geoengineered? What are you looking at in the geoengineering? Is it self-assembling in your body? If it is self-assembling, because there's not going to be any Neuralink. So if they're putting in the soft works, the wet works, through the nanosynthetic biology, and you're breathing it in, how do you actually know that? Now, what I'm doing now, I suppose I'm being a devil's advocate, right? How do you actually know? So that you need to watch their video, and then you go, well, how do I actually know that? Okay, you're showing me, it's like the nicotine destroys nanotech. No, it doesn't destroy nanotech. Yeah, that was the psyop. Do you see it? It went viral. You know, there's going to be aspects of what, because then everybody goes out and they buy, everybody that took the mRNA gene editing, they might think, oh, now I can have, you know, if they're being injured or if there's been negative effects, they can think to themselves, oh, now I can go and get a nicotine patch. But the nicotine patch might also add insult to injury because that might have nanosynthetic biology in there. Do you see? You go and listen to Joe Rogan today and you think in one hand Joe Rogan's great because he's selling you Alpha Brain, but then you start to find out that the company that owns Alpha Brain is also invested in big tech pharmaceuticals. Like, how does that measure? Unilever. So it's like, follow the money, do the research, listen to it all, and then essentially, because we're back to that saviour, aren't we? We're back to that saviour mindset. Oh, and Jeff's great, right? Because he's into all this anarcho-capitalism. It sounds good, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, anarcho-capitalism, great. You know, it's interesting, isn't it? Well, it's not a coincidence, is it, that Bitcoin happened in 2008? Well, who put Bitcoin there in the first place? Who put it there in the first place? And what is the relationship between the Bitcoin, the blockchain, the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Nano Things, and all of these things? And the question then is, how am I to remain human? So that kind of comes back to the contagion myth. You know, do viruses exist? Don't they exist? Am I allowed to question it? I think if you can frame it in a way where, like, well, do viruses exist? Exactly, we have to learn to research and trust our guts. Yes, we have to trust our guts, and the way that we trust our guts is by working with cultured foods, like your fermented kefir, your unpasteurized food. You know, you're not dairy intolerant, you're pasteurized food intolerant. I was doing that thing years ago. You're not gluten intolerant, you're glyphosate genetically modified food intolerant, aren't you? Really? We probably are. We're probably a little bit genetically modified at this point. And you start to look into the works of Ilana Freeland, like Anna Mihalcea's work, it's not new. It's already been written. You know, it's like we're flogging there a dead horse. And I don't focus on the problem, I focus on the solution. So this is my my video, so that people that are going to start to investigate this can then start to go, well, ooh, actually, who is Alana Freeland? Oh, wow, she's written 3 books on this. Oh, wow. So Anna Mihalcea isn't the whistleblower on this, because Alana Freeland's coming from a very avant-garde positive position and has been talking about this for many, many, many years. So is Tony Pantallerescu. Tony Pantallerescu has been talking about this in 2014. So Anna, but he just doesn't look the part, and he probably doesn't want to go on video because he doesn't want to be associated with the TZLA machine. Facts. That's the facts. That's why he's not going to do it. They're like going, oh, who's the person that we can use as our poster child for the TZLA machine? I could have done it. I don't want to be their poster child though. I don't want to, because I don't want to sell a machine for 11,000, 1,100 that isn't really worth 11,000, 1,100. I couldn't sell a machine for 11,000, 1,100. Like, we were building a modern machine, and at the most we were selling it for about, at the time it was about, because of the price of the transformers and everything, it was about £2,500, £3,000 for that particular thing. And then there was challenges with the glass, and we built 2 of them. We sent one to Norway, and we sent one to Dubai. And then we had some funny fallings out with the engineer because he got jaded with the money, which becomes a problem when they start to lose sight of the bigger picture. So anyway, so if anybody wants an original antique Tesla healing device, you can DM me in the Facebook, or you can email me at visionarylifehacks@protonmail.com. You can find me, if you find me on Facebook, and then if you eventually become a customer, you do get invited into the Telegram group. I've kept it close to an intimate group of human beings because they've invested, and due to the nature of my Telegram group and some of the things that I like to share, it's not really open until somebody's committed, because they know what they're researching and invested in. For example, they do understand what Dr. Anna and Jeff are talking about, but they know that us folks have been talking about it a very long time. I'm actually not in the Black Pill communities now. I got a few of the engineers that I work with directly from those Black Pill communities, but also they're not Black Pill. They're very focus, solution centric. And I'm very much into, if it's not broken, why do we have to fix it? So we work with the Slim Sperling 144 Hertz technology. So that's your acoustics. That's your Slim Sperling. I think they call it radiesthesia. The pyramids have not got any green funniness in there. Like, it's all well and good you thinking you can build a pyramid, but if you don't understand the I can't say it's a French word, radiesthesia. If you don't understand about the green, there's this thing called green something, I'm learning about it right now, there's this green stuff. And if you build a pyramid wrong, it can be detrimental to your health. If you build the pyramid correct, it doesn't have this green stuff in it. There's a name for it. It's like Brown's gas, but it's the equivalent of that in a pyramid. So the people that I'm working with that are building this technology are very focused. Same with the Tesla technology. They're very focused on their craft. Bruce Lee said it beautifully, and I think this is what Jeff should focus on really. It's like, at the moment there's a conflict of interest. He should just focus on the decentralized Bitcoin. And then when you found somebody that was wholeheartedly in to the technology, which we actually are, you know, like, you look at a lot of the modern stuff today, it's got argon gas in there, it's got funny gases in the tubes. The original tubes from the 1900s are from a time when the air was much more purer, it was much more ether-based. So there was a lot more clairvoyance. And this book, actually, is worth a read if you haven't yet read it. Because this shares what was going on at that time. This shares what was going on at that time. And so when you know that people like Rudolf Steiner were clairvoyant, green energy, which is bad. No, it's not. I don't think it's called green energy. I think it's called green. 1 second. It's not called green energy. I know the word. It's not green energy. It's not green energy. Green energy, which is bad energy. My energy healer. Yes, it's not called green energy though. It's called something else. I'll tell you what it is now. Then it'll click for you as well. Facebook. I'll tell you what it is now. Give me a second. I'll tell you what it is. It's green something. I think it's very interesting. It's radii. The word is radii. Radii. So RADIE THESI. Let me find her. Whoa, what's her name? Had this amazing lady come to me the other day with all this knowledge, and then I back tested it to my mate Gordon, and he confirmed it. Because like, if you're not building the pyramid, so Juliet, you already know that. You already know Gordon, right? So when I then, because I always challenge Gordon, because I want to know. I find it fascinating all that stuff that they're doing. But I'm really always, because I'm a keen student of all this technology. I love it. So I was asking him the other day, oh, what's it called? What's her name? Wait there. One second. And the books are by Ilana Freeland. In my Telegram group, there are all the books are in there. All of her books are in there. Another good book is The Invisible Rainbow. That's another great book. Oh yeah, she's called Oompa Loompa. Let me find her. Oompa. Here we go. Oh, what was the name of the green stuff in the triangles? Should have kept it. It's green something anyway. So if the technology has got green, there's a green. Oh, let me ask Gordon. Give me a second. I'll ask Gordon. I've got mine on. You've got yours on, Juliet? Yeah, I've got mine on. Green. What was the green thing called again in the pyramids? Can you write it? Can you write it, please? There we go. I've just asked him. He'll reply in a minute. Okay, what's almost ready? Let's see. We've got Tesla machines are incoming. Ooh, look at that. There's a nice senator coming. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is incoming. Let me show you an incoming set. Incoming. First come, first served, Brother Zish. So, yes, so everything's good anyway. So, the video is good. It's a little bit black pill. It's a little bit dark. I won't lie. But that's what you get with all of that stuff. I'm kind of on the fence with it all because I don't want to give too much power to the quantum AI. I don't want to give too much power to the quantum AI. This is why I'm kind of like prolonging the conversation actually, because I'm allowing the data. I'm going to watch it again. I got halfway through. I'm going to watch it again. And then I'm going to do a part 2 on Dr. Anna Mihalcea, with Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante. And I'm going to share my insights. And it's up to you then to do your own research, but to know that I've been providing tangible solutions that people can actually do. If you go through my videos, you'll see all the nano triangles. I've shown you how to build an anti-nano triangle. I'm talking to you about bathing in the different salts. We started off with the anti-nano bucket. Well, actually, I started off with the Tesla machines, because when you start to build the anti-nano buckets and the triangles, they're actually Tesla technology. That's what they actually are. They are Tesla bifilar coils. You could use any antique technology. Now, this antique technology, I always say to people, if you can't explain it to a child and you can't explain it to your grandparents, what on earth are you doing? Now, the beautiful thing with the antique technology is you could talk to your granddad about it, and he might actually recognize it. He might have seen it in his barber. He might have seen it with his doctor. He might have seen it with his chiropractor. So it's not foreign to them. It's not foreign. When you see a lot of these people that have gone from spooky device to Healy device, God bless them if they get to the EE system. That is the worst. Therify system. I'd say anything. Like Dan Winters, I used to think was kind of like over it, but I don't think he is. Marco Rodin, right? So the ones that are good, like even a Holder Clark zapper today, with the advent of the potential nano disaster that's going on right now, a Holder Clark zapper is actually not beneficial. And the spooky device is not beneficial. The BCX is not beneficial. The Healy, the TENS machine, a lot of the PEMF units, they're not good. A lot of the modern violet ray machines, they're not good. They might have funny gases in them. So the original technology is mechanical. It's based on the electrons from electricity, the photons and the plasma, from the ether. It's in the literature. You can read it. It's got the sterilization from the ozone. Now, if you pay attention and you look at my French units and zoom in and look at the base of them, you will see clues to what that sterilization is. With the different tubes, you're able to then work the lymphatic system. You can also then work ideas around what is the fascia. And then you can start to look at this antique literature from these antique vanity cases and say to yourself, ooh, look what the doctor or the physician of 1919 was talking about. Wow, this really is quackery. Wow, look at what the naturopath and the chiropractor was talking about. Wow, that's really quackery. Now you start to look at what the army was using, and you're like, wow, if the army was using this, this must have been quackery. So it's really quite interesting, like when you start to get into what this quackery is. Like why homeopathy is quackery, why chiropractor is quackery, and why the allopathic medicine, I firmly believe back then, was probably pure quackery. And then what we have today, this modern allopathic medicine with your alternative therapies and your Reikis and all this kind of stuff, that is really what you need in this world. You know, that's really what you need. Like the modern allopathic medicine combined with your new age is really what you need right now. And you do really need to go to the jungle and take your ayahuasca and listen to Joe Rogan and listen to RFK and listen to your RFKs and all of those people and listen to your Dr. Jack Cruz and dye your brain blue. And then listen to David Wolf with his little white ayahuasca shaman suit on. And you better start with his peyote shaman and start guzzling that ivermectin. Because that's really what you need right now, because the frontline physicians of America told you so. And now Alex Jones is telling you to dye your brain blue and take your nano silver. So you better get on with that, because he's on your side, right? Do you see? So it's really quite interesting, isn't it? It's like, well, actually, what is really quackery? Like, I heard the other day that it's just crazy, right? So you've really got to start to exercise this idea of what is truth? When did the end of truth happen? And if I'm in a post-truth world, then why am I even afraid of a quantum AI that was created in a time of a post-truth world? It's a great question, isn't it? I'm not the smartest man in the room. I'm just looking at this stuff and going, well, weren't we talking about that a few months ago, talking about Dr. Anna? Yes, we were. Now, what will happen is it will come through the channels of the Dollar Vigilante and the white coat, Dr. Anna Mihalcea, and you're going to find it very, very enticing. And you might be like, wow, this is... Whoa, you might go... Now, watch the algorithms. It's all going to come. So I'm feeling quite confident that we've positioned ourselves very well under the radar, because I don't want to go... what's that word? Like, why would anybody want to go that word? I'd much rather be... focusing on the comedy of life and focusing on being 1 foot in the grave and focusing on reading really good books like this. Or even, I think a good book could even be something like this or like that. I think these are great books. And you combine them together. And then what you can do for your post-truth world, you can get some of these goggles. These are original goggles from the 1900s. You can get some of these goggles, like this. And you might be able to decipher the truth. The truth will set you free. Oh, my apologies for this overgrowth. I don't know where my shaver, I want to get rid of this. It's really annoying me. But it kind of goes with my t-shirt, doesn't it? It kind of goes, I'm like color coded. Yeah, let's go. All right, so this was Brother Zish doing a 1 foot in the grave. Yeah, they live, Julia, they live. Yeah, so I did this was my 1 foot in the grave podcast. Yeah, look, I'm gonna, if someone sends me something, I'm gonna watch it, dissect it, but we've already done the whole TZLA, so this is just like a part 2 now. Like what they're doing now is they're bringing in the experts, because sales probably are not going too well, so they know that by capturing the nano narrative, but the question is like, well, how much of that are you going to focus on, or are you going to just focus on the solutions? And I've made the solutions really attainable for anybody. Like, even if you haven't got much money, you can start with the Deborah King anti-slime salts. That's from Louise L. Hay. Tony Pantalleresco and Brian 396 just jumped on it and added bits to it, right? But we were already doing the anti-slime bath and doing things with like your seaweeds and your grey salts. The salts are the key. Salts are the key. Salt. Seaweed. If you're in Ireland, just jump in the ocean, right? Eat your seaweed. Get into your root vegetables. Get into your garlic. Get your what's that oil called? Bay leaf oil. Get on the clove oil. I'm just all in natural medicines. I think this is, I prefer, I've chosen my quackery route, and I'm very happy with my quackery route. I'm very happy with it, and I think you can be happy with it too. And I think comedy is really, really important right now. You've got to have a laugh. Julia, isn't Gordon a great laugh? You know, I want to be around people that are... where are you, Gordon? Come on, talk to me, Green. Where are you? I can't remember the name now. Green. Where is she? Wait there, let me look it up. Radifesia pyramids, Green. No green. That word, because the word's actually really interesting. It's like when I first heard Slim spelling, I didn't get it at first. It was really difficult. Negative green. That's what it's called. It's called negative green. Negative green. Negative green, Juliet. Okay, I'm done. This was a live broadcast brought to you by Brother Zish. You're subhuman. Here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. Onwards and upwards. Deciphering. You know, good stuff. Save your money. If you want to buy a good Tesla machine, come and see Brother Zish. I'm on the original antique technology. If it's not broken, why fix it? If you want to do something for the nanotech, you're curious about that. I was actually talking to a nanoscientist. Build an anti-nanotechnology. Get into your chlorides. Get into your acids. To hell with alkaline. To hell with alkaline. It's the bit in the middle, right? Your 0 point. Your tachyon energy. Your 0 point. On that note, Winston Tong. Ta-da!